Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to this our young channel, and if it's your first time, please don't forget to subscribe. Let's grow this young channel together as we work on fixing our lives, the lives of our families, and just life in general, Um, wow, as you can see in the title today, we are talking about taking responsibility, being accountable for for my own actions. I don't know what that means for you, but like I said, for those of you who have been following my stories I've been putting out there, I think for the longest time, I've been playing. Okay, I've been playing the victim kind of game. I always had someone for the longest time of my life to blame for things being a certain way, for mainly for the bad things, and I don't think I've given enough credit for the good things or appreciating the people who have impacted my life in a positive way. But for the negative ones, oh my goodness, I'll jump in arms to blow the trumpet of how so and so did this to me, how so and so did that to me. And if you guys have been following, in my previous videos, I was so much bringing the aspect of uh, children, childhood, and all that, simply because right now most of us are parents. Most of my friends, people I went to school with, people I grew up with, people I've been lucky enough to interact with over the years are parents. And why I thought it was important to bring those aspects of parenting and bringing my own experience of being a child raised under certain circumstances, and how that kind of have affected me in a way, and how okay the downsides of that, and how we can do better. And some of these things I just don't share them for the sake of sharing with some of you. It's also a learning experience for me. Like every single day I'm always learning, learning to be a better parent, learning to be, I don't like, just learning to be better version of myself, of who I was yesterday. Because guys, to be honest with you, whew, I I've been, yeah, I've been all the versions of terrible in so many ways. Terrible as a friend, terrible as a child, which I openly share now. I'm not ashamed to admit to those things. Terrible as a partner, you know. But like I said, unfortunately for me, I've been amplifying um uh everyone else's terrible part they played in my life, but I haven't been able to take responsibility for my own actions, or for my own downsides, or for the negative roles I played in some of the circumstances that I have ended up in, and which is kind of sad, because I don't know how many of us have been in that area, in that scenario of life, where we think we are the perfect, we are the perfect ones, everyone else is the bad one, everyone else is the wrong one. um for the most part, like I've shared, for the most part, um I okay, the role, the like, especially I've been so much emphasizing on my childhood, because and me doing that, it's not like I'm discrediting my parents for the roles they have played. And trust me, like I've said, actually coming to look at it later in life, in my adult life now, and having been able to have open conversations with my parents now, I actually understand them. I understand them now. I understood why things happened the way they were, and whatever happened for them, it was the best that they could ever do, for me as their child, or as their children in general. So, and then there was the lack of knowledge on their part, because like I said, for the most part, there so much was going on, which is just exactly how our life is right now. So much is also going on in our lives. But why I'm sharing some of these stories is, much as so much is going on in our lives, let's not take certain things lightly. Let's not take our children lightly. Let's not rubbish off their expressions. Let's be sensitive enough to notice changes in them, changes in their performance, changes in their interactions, and all that. Let's be conscious enough to be active in the lives of our children, so that some of the experiences we have grown up with don't repeat themselves and don't end up affecting our children the way they have affected us in a way. That. Now, coming to my adult life. Oh my goodness. Um, so many has also happened. So much has happened, like I've shared. But then, sadly, the realization I have come to is that I actually, even in this so much, sorry guys, there's noise, vehicles are cruising. My where I live is just right by the roadside, and vehicles are cruising, and you can hear the noise in the background. But I'm so sorry for that. Just help me ignore that, and let's focus on the message that I'm here to pass. So, like I was talking about my adult life. So, things that have happened in my adult life, to be honest with you, if I want to be honest to myself to a certain degree, there's no point of me blaming some of the people in my lives in my life over the years, because it's not fair to them to a certain extent, because even in all that, I played a big role. Just simple, but the simple fact, for example, let's say for my relationships where I've oh my god, to a great extent I've been so bitter, or about bitter to some people, about blaming them, telling them how they ruined my life. Little did I know that I also participated greatly even in ruining that life of mine, because guys, let's face it, for example, I've shared with quite a number of my friends that we talk so deeply about life in general with. um Okay, sorry, let me sip my. It's always good to be hydrated, right? Today we are having our orange juice, so it's always good to be hydrated. And I'm here snacking on biscuits. People, I don't know. Some of you remember we used to have these Britannia biscuits while growing up, and I managed to get it here, and just reminded me of our childhood. And we would divide these biscuits, sometimes even break this into pieces and divide with our friends. Yeah, so yeah, I'm here snacking that with my orange juice. So yeah, for like I always share with my friends, like, we're one of the luckiest generations ever in this life, because for the likes of our grandparents and great parents, they didn't have the opportunity to choose their partners, people they would like to spend the rest of their lives with, so your parent will just go and identify a lady who maybe she's fetching water or she's collecting firewood, and it's like, oh wow, she's so hardworking. Where does she come from? Whose father is she? And then he'll reach out to this family, and the next thing you know is your husband and wife, and you guys have to learn to figure out each other, have to force the emotions, the feelings towards each other, if it does exist anyway. So that's tough. But then one thing for us as the current generation, we are the luckiest. We go and get these people we want in our lives, God knows from where, and then we just bring home to our parents and be like, oh, by the way, mom or dad, this is so and so, and he's my friend, or he's the person I want to marry. And then they have no point of objection in most cases. And sometimes when they try to object, by the way, we're like, I don't know what's wrong with you. For me, that's where my heart is. For me, I love him. We rubbish off everyone else. We go with our heart, that we assume. So, and yet, yeah, like, this is one part of our life we have the authority. In most cases, I don't know for some of you, most cases, the schools I went to, I didn't have a choice to make. To schools I went to, even up to university, I didn't have a choice to make. Okay, I put them, but I would have preferred a different school than the ones I ended up in, but still I ended up going into. But now there's one place, one thing in my life that I have had opportunity, like I would have the opportunity to choose, which is supposed to be my husband. And I know so many of us don't have the opportunity, but then that one aspect of our lives is where some of us, okay, let me refer to myself, have messed up big time, because okay, so let's say naively we get these people, meet them, and then actually it's okay. For me, I'm now I'm thinking back. I'm like, "Feva, how could you be so stupid and so dumb? Like, how could you? Actually, there's no point in me coming to play the victim game at this later in life, because everything about these relationships we are communicating, by the way, they like those things, those red flags, we call red flags, or those things that I didn't want in a relationship or in my partner. These things were popping up along the way as we were interacting, and that should have rang a bell in me. And of course, okay, it was even ringing bells because there were those uncomfortable moments where at some point I didn't communicate them, simply because I thought maybe communicating them would maybe drive the person away from me. Or when I communicated them, the person gave excuses, and then I'm like, oh, okay. And then there were different feelings. Oh, this person, maybe the person will change, or maybe it will get better. I kept giving excuses for every other thing, and then things kept getting worse, 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 worse. And then I'm like, but still, I don't know whether I'm the one who allowed this to happen. I'm the one who allowed it to happen. Maybe I wasn't also paying attention. You know, like, how did I fool myself? And then now I'm the first person who's also jumping in arms to come and play the victim game and blaming. Oh, this person played with my heart. This person this person did that. Like, really, like, really, really, really. So, but and then I'm like, you know what? Okay, Feva, you are foolish, you're stupid, you are everything. Yes, that has happened. So now that you know, what are you going to do differently? You know, Whew, that's the conversation I've been battling with myself about, like, for the last few years. It's still a struggle because, guys, it's still a struggle even for me to be like honest with myself. Ever, I know what I want in a relationship. I really do know, by the way. But then, how come I still allow myself to even be in these relationships which are exactly opposite to what I actually want? Like, what is it? Like, Favor, what is it for you? Why are you doing this? Because there's no excuse for me this time around. You guys, I swear, there's no excuse for Favor this time around. Should I end up in a relationship and then tomorrow things go left? I have no excuse to come openly, even whether on this platform or anywhere in any platform, to come and make these accusations of like, oh, look, he did this to me. I have, at this point in time, guys, I have no excuse. So since I have no excuse, how can I do different? How can I make sure I still, okay, I get that relationship I'm looking for? Whew, guys, it has been a struggle, like I said. um where even with the people I've been relating with, I've been interacting with, there's still that side of me that wants to let things go by because maybe I want this person in my life, or I'm concentrating on, okay, I love this person, and I'm ignoring the aspects of this person that do not work for me. Or um also being a listener even to these people I'm relating with, and hearing them out, hearing what they're actually communicating to me. Because, you guys, one thing I've found out is that actually in these relationships we get to, there's actually, whether it's communication or not communication, but it's still communicating something to us on a daily as we interact. And the consciousness we don't have is realizing, okay, what are these people communicating to us? And these things they're communicating, are they things that we're comfortable with, or we are not? And the aspects of these for me have been um have been one, I'm a hopeless romantic, guys. Hopeless romantic. And being hopeless romantic, I am so loud with my love, and so on, and silently I'm actually looking for the same. When I love you, oh my god, I don't care. I don't care about the world outside us. For me, it's all about me loving you and all that. And silently, I'm hoping for the same. So I've realized that over the years, when I'm with someone and this person is not giving me that, it kind of makes me uncomfortable. But then I've also learned that I have not been in position to communicate this to the people I relate with, for them to know, actually, this is my love language. This is how I see love for me. And then I don't communicate it, but then I'm expecting it. And then when it's not coming, I'm making a big deal out of it, you know. And that has been me. And then there's also been the aspects of being having a supportive partner, like someone someone we have a similar vision. It may be exactly the same, but someone we have a similar vision. Oh my goodness, guys, that has been a hassle in my relationship world, because I've had instances where I'm thinking, I'm discussing plans or what our future could be like with the partner, and this person is not upfront with you, or even discussing their own plans. They prefer to do their own things, and then when I'm pushing, I've had instances where people have told me, "Favor, being with you feels like we are like being with you feels like I'm in a relationship with another man, because you're always, you're always talking about plans, saying this, saying that, doing this and doing that, and yet I, like I feel some of the ideas you share or some of these things you talk about are supposed to be things as me as a man to be the one to talk about or to be the one to bring up. So I don't like, I've had a relationship end with someone because the person told me being with a man, he feels he's with a fellow man, because like I said, the things I talk about, the things I bring, the discussions, ideas I come up with, ideas he felt he should have been the one to bring them up. So yeah, that doesn't make them comfortable. But then, and this person didn't also communicate that to me, because if I feel like if he had communicated that to me earlier on in the relationship, maybe I would have toned down my ambition or my ideas. I don't know. So it was, I kept going and going and going and going, and before I knew it, this person had started, like he was like, the person was done with the relationship. And when I tried probing why and what, that's what I was told, that he felt being with me was like he was with a fellow man, because some of the things I talk about are things, so he would he would wish to be the one to come talk about or bring up and things like that. So yeah, and like I said, it has been all a journey, and I can imagine how in those scenarios of me pushing and pushing and pushing, let's say in that moment we had encounters, like maybe we had a child coming in, we had, yeah. And even with my relationship that ended, where I ended, okay, where they ended up having a bond of a child in between, it's even, there were, like I said, there were flags, there were red flags, there were things in that relationship that were happening that were not going well with me, but for some reason I kept allowing it, I kept being there, and I don't know, with my stupid thought of maybe it would get better or whatever. So, and that's what I'm like, even until things went to the extreme, I actually didn't have to blame this person, because this person was consistent in a certain way of how his way of life was going to be, how his idea of a family was going to be. But for some reason I was acting dumb, or I don't know, you know. So one thing, like, I'm learning, like I said, I'm still not figured it out, but I'm struggling with, I'm hoping that I can figure it out, is being able to be authentic to myself, and like, this is what I want for myself, and if it's not coming forth, I'm sorry, I'm not doing this, um and keep going. Hopefully in one day I will still be able to find that one person where we can, so far so good, in my current relationship. But still, it's still, like I said, the struggle of still being able to communicate our feelings, being able to communicate our dreams. I hope there's no pretense so far in what we have going on. If that is the case, so far so good. But if that's not the case, but like I said, I'm now conscious enough, paying attention. I'm now trying my level best to pay attention to, okay, are there any deviations, and are the deviations so extreme that I cannot, I may not be able to compromise with, or are they something I know I can live with? Because one, right now, guys, in this current generation of ours, the level of divorce, okay, the level of us, us separating with our partners, and the worst case scenario of this being separating while there are children involved, guys, it's so heartbreaking. And I've shared in my previous videos challenges of having children in broken relationships, and it's a hassle. It's a hassle. And for me, what I'm working on now is not to have to end up in another relationship with also children involved, and we end up parting ways again. Like, God, I'm praying for that not to happen this time around for myself. And how can I avoid that, is trying to be a little bit careful with what I get myself into as far as relationships are concerned, and most importantly, taking responsibilities for my actions. When I'm the one on the wrong, I should be able to admit that, oh my goodness, I'm the one who messed up here, and how can I fix it? I'm hoping that my partner can also do the same. So being remorseful enough to admit when they have gone wrong, and that way we can go a long way. But most importantly, having open conversations between each other, and emphasizing the aspect of honesty, and emphasizing the consequences of it being, if we're not honest to each other, how that can impact our lives for the longest time. And so therefore, guys, this is what I had for us for today. And please, if it's your first time, don't forget to subscribe, because we have juicy videos coming up. And for that, I love you. Ciao.